no disco.
This ain't no country club neither.
This is RVA.
Welcome back, everybody,
To another thrilling episode
of Oh Lala in the Dungeon.
Season 2,
Episode
17.
Wow. Crazy.
We're
Thank
almost
you.
ready for college.
Today we have another thrilling episode for you. We have renowned entrepreneur, designer, chef extraordinaire, Michael Sparks with us. Yay.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. And just correction, I'm not a chef. I just play one on TV.
Oh, okay. My bad.
We promote chefs.
Yes. But you know your way around the kitchen.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
I
I'm
can cut up a little
assuming.
couple things.
Yeah.
And what else do we have planned?
So we'll, of course, have our hot topic. You'll be dropping Adonis, Big Daddy.
And I'm going to be talking about some excellent places to get a cup of joe around this big city.
There's a lot.
Can't wait. We'll be talking about some upcoming events. Of course, our band of the week.
Restaurants of the week.
That's right. And maybe a little preview of next time. So let's get into this,
Cool.
shall we?
Yeah. I have a hot topic.
Yeah. Tell us about it.
What is it?
Let's talk about Diddy.
Did it?
It
Lord.
pains me and angers me. But anyway, Diddy and Cassie, his ex-girlfriend, who was like 19 at the time when they started dating, he was 39, which is already a little gross. There was a video leaked recently where she runs out of a hotel room to an elevator and he chases after her in his towel, knocks her to the ground, kicks her repeatedly, and then drags her back into the hotel room. He apparently bought the hotel footage when it happened and he kept it hidden for this long, but it's finally getting exposed by his team who's turning on him. Also, his ex-wife, Kim, I heard this today, died of pneumonia.
Ooh.
But it wasn't pneumonia.
quotes.
Allegedly. I have to say allegedly. But her blood work showed in the video that I watched, this woman got some documentation of Kim's blood work. There was animal saliva indicating that she was bitten by an animal, fecal bacteria, and other stuff that indicated she might have been poisoned and not have had or maybe it caused the pneumonia. I don't really know. It's
You
really
can get
sus.
pneumonia from like unsanitary.
Yeah, you can get it
conditions and
from
stuff.
Legionnaires.
We all had it recently.
Yeah,
I know.
we all know
all
about
three of
it.
us had pneumonia recently, Michael.
God.
So
Oh my gosh. Should I have worn a mask?
I know this was
No,
like
it's
2 months ago.
Yeah, that was a long
No,
time
we're
ago.
good. But Michael, you were sharing some interesting things. How you were living in New York City
Yeah.
at the time when he first
My
became
early
big.
my early days as a fashion designer, in the late 80s, early 90s when Diddy was taking off and all the stories are circulating then and everyone tried not to believe it. But,
Right.
some really, really interesting things. And I lived in New York and Los Angeles and San Francisco during this whole period. And it was really, really interesting to see what money, power, and wealth could do to a community, especially a community as tight-knit as the music community.
Right.
And for me personally, because, I was a designer, I was an artist, I shied away because that's, if you all remember, it's when rap became really violent and against
Yes.
women, against children, against gays, against everything.
Like the whole East Coast, West Coast
That's right.
war and stuff.
After a hip
Yep.
hop, a hippie to the hippie, say hip hop.
Terrible lyrics.
I lost it.
Oh,
Who
So
shot ya?
yeah, but it really was very much like the Diddy that we're seeing, a very violent, scary time for the music industry, and I think that it has gone on too long, and it's about time that everything is exposed.
That's what I
For
love
sure.
about this time.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a time of exposition.
Yeah, I think that's just happening in general. Like more and more people are canceled. So just
Yeah.
because they're exposed.
Well, I think people are getting more and more like they feel like they have the agency to actually stand up to these people because people are eventually getting taken down.
That's right.
So it might take decades.
Justice is slow.
That's right.
Yeah, like-
Very
Love
slow.
always wins, and I know it does. Eventually, the truth will be revealed.
That's right.
Look what happened to Bill Cosby. I mean, so many people came up against him. He was finally sentenced. So
And released. But, you know.
Oh God.
And released.
capture and release.
Right.
But I haven't heard too much. Like, I know Cassie came out and said, like, this happened, but has she had any more, like, interviews that you've seen?
Well, I haven't seen any interviews, but apparently the statute of limitations has expired, so she can't press charges. But with the video evidence, I feel like there might be some loopholes for him to get.
Well, she also signed a non-disclosure when she signed her agreement, so she really can't. Her attorney can talk for her, but she can't sort of
anything.
say anything.
Terrible.
And it's, I personally think that was a deal with the devil, but she's also probably trying to heal and a lot of other things, so she had to take the money. So it's just a double-edged sword.
But hopefully, like we're saying, you know, more and more stuff will trickle out.
That's
and obviously, he's covering for a lot of people, too. So from what we've allegedly heard.
Yeah, allegedly, everyone.
Allegedly is the key word.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll turn into a whole like Harvey Weinstein kind of reckoning in the music industry. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I think they might have him underneath the jail.
yeah.
A lot of. It's different for some
In
other.
hell.
It's different for some other people.
Yes, this is true.
You know, no country club for pity.
No. But, well, stay tuned, guys. We'll see what happens.
We'll keep you updated if anything big happens. But
Well, let me tell everyone a little bit more about Michael. He's a luminary in the design, branding, and fashion spheres. He brings over 3 decades of experience to his role at the Underground Kitchen. Michael has had many roles within the fashion and design spheres, from assistant buyer at Lugene Optical in New York City to creating Artistic Eye, a purveyor of luxury products, to consulting all over the globe, as well as establishing Michael Sparks Design. And then using all of those skills to create the Underground Kitchen, founded in 2012. Michael has cemented his legacy as a visionary entrepreneur at the intersection of design and gastronomy. That's quite the resume.
Oh boy.
Welcome, welcome.
Makes me sound 300 years old.
an awesome 300 years
Girl,
old.
I've had about 50 billion jobs.
I need
so
a break to
don't
take
worry.
my Xanax. For
Yes,
real.
yes. Matt always says I'm a Renaissance woman. I have too many degrees and not enough money to show for
Hey,
it. So.
true.
welcome to the club.
Yeah, so.
And she wants to go back to college, but I'm like, no.
It's an addiction.
You've
I
had
know. I
too
love to
much
learn.
time there.
So it could be worse.
I know, right?
Could be worse.
She's a student.
Right. A student of life.
Student of the world.
So our first question is always, are you from?
Are you from Richmond? If not, what brought you here, and where are you from?
So that's a loaded question. So I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where went to school, and when I graduated, Pittsburgh was not a friendly place for the people of the LGBTQ community
Right.
and a fashion designer. I mean, there's not much to do in Pittsburgh, right? So I got a lot of training there, and I have a really funny story for you guys. I was working as an apprentice optician and designer at a place called Lugene Opticians, and we had a jazz bar in Pittsburgh called Harper's. And it was a guy named Walt Harper, who was a jazz musician, a saxophonist. And he came in one day and he said, hey, I have a client who's here to play tonight. Here I am. I'm 20-something years old, knew nothing about the jazz world.
Right.
And my buddy left his glasses on the airplane. Can you hook him up for his play tonight? So he came in and he bought a few things and we talked, and he said, I'd really like to get something designed because I have a problem when I play my music. I said, I'll take care of you. Worked him out, send the designs to New York and to Paris, and waited for them to come back. And during that process, it took about 3 to 4 weeks. I got a call from the New York office and said, hey, will you consider coming to New York to be an apprentice under our designer in Manhattan on Madison Avenue, Jean Paul? And I said, why would you want me? I'm just like, I'm a little guy from Pittsburgh, And he says, well, you're used to working with celebrities. I said, if a celebrity slapped me, I wouldn't know who they were, right?
Right.
He says, fool, you just did glasses for Dizzy Gillespie.
Oh my
And so Dizzy started me in my career in
That's
fashion.
so
Wow.
freaking
Yeah,
That's
and
amazing.
when I got to New York, he hooked me up with all the famous jazz musicians, Buddy Short, Sarah Vaughan, everybody
So
came
cool.
to me. So it created my little buzz in New York and sort of started my career off really incredibly.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Serendipity. Sometimes just things just fall into place.
That's right. Everything happens
you
for a
follow
reason.
it.
That's right. That's right.
That's crazy. Well, tell us more about your early career. What really got you? Were you always interested in design and fashion? Or?
Always. I never thought until I moved to New York that I would make accessories or eyewear be my sort of focus. But it really took me a lot of places. I was one of the design consultants for all the glasses and accessories for The Matrix.
Oh, wow.
I did Alice and Jenny in the West Wing back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then being the first Afro-American with my then partner, Nancy Coity, she's Japanese-American, to open a boutique in Beverly Hills in the late 80s.
Oh, wow.
So it was a whole thing. And my collection was carried in thousands of stores around the world. And it was sort of the beginning of that whole black movement of getting black products into stores and people really proud of wearing people of color's things. So, just right after the sort of the black designer movement with Willie Smith and Tookie and all of those in New York. So it really was, for me, a frontier that needed to be treaded.
So your degree is in design, like
Design.
in actual
Design.
But could you specialize in the eyewear? Like, I don't know how.
So it's almost like it's an industrial design degree, but
Okay.
then you go into accessories, and sort of you go into lifestyles, and so it's a kind of the optical design world is pretty much, you have to kind of work in that field to understand it. Okay. And from what I understand, I was the first Afro-American optical designer in America as well.
Wow.
So
Kudos.
Katharine Hepburn was one of my clients. It was incredible. I mean, we had Oprah Winfrey, Carol Bayer Sager, the songwriter.
You just like casually drop. Oprah.
Yeah. It was a whole, and I look back on it and it was like, wow, what a life. But, they needed to see too.
Right.
So how the heck did you wind up in Richmond?
So fast forward. I was living in Madrid working for Louis Vuitton for their Spanish label Loewe and doing sort of consulting and designing for them, living the most perfect sort of Spanish life, loving it, spending my summers in Ibiza.
Oh my God.
And living in Madrid.
We want to move to Spain.
Yeah, Spain is everything. And I came home on vacation to see my family in New York, and I went into a bar, and I met a guy and sort of talked, and ended up hanging out with them all the whole night and having dinner and then breakfast, as you do.
Yes.
And 18 years later, here I am.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's really great. My partner's a doctor he's a PhD in oncology and a PhD in psychology. And he studies the psychology of cancer.
He's a smart guy.
I don't know. I know. He's a great guy, but he's from Australia. So, New York was new for him. So, my family sort of took him under the wing. And 5 years in living in New York with him on the Upper East Side, he got a job offer to come to Massey, to VCU, and bring his research down here. And one of the things that he was studying at the time, and I think still does, is a cancer and its effect on people with disparities. And he has a very strong research going on there. So we moved here in 2009.
Wow.
What are people with disparities?
Well, people who are less fortunate, who don't have access to information, to coverage, and those sort of things. So how your race and religion can play an effect on your treatment, how communication skills with those people,
Education opportunities.
Right. He's done things with the federal government employees that, that they know the laws, that if they go through chemo, how and what they have by law to treat them and how much time they can take off. It's really powerful what he does. Awesome. And it's very inspiring for me.
He has a big heart.
Yeah, big and very inspiring. And just sometimes it's like I read some of those grants and my head's spinning. I'm like, I'll just pour another glass of red wine.
I feel like that. Did he inspire you with the underground kitchen, the philosophy?
Yeah, but he more than inspired me because Richard is he's very methodical, and I as a designer, you can be, have this creative mind sort of thinking. And as a doctor and sort of kind of a mathematician of how those things have to work taught me a lot. And 18 years really taught me a lot of how things have to look. And he's definitely, with what we'll talk about a little bit later, has helped me develop Underground Kitchen Community First, a nonprofit, which he knows a lot about, developing grants and how to reach out and what it needs to look like and sound like and feel like to be successful. So, I really appreciate like his work there.
Right.
But don't let me jump too far.
I was going to say, let's go back in time a little bit,
Right.
though. How did you parlay like working for Lugene Optical into like creating your own company?
It always was in the works, sort of, my mom was always driven. My mom was a single mother of 5 kids, and she was always driven to us to own our own businesses and to work for ourselves. And 3 of us do out of the 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and very
Go
successful.
mama.
Yeah, she's hot. She's really hot. But we were always pushed that way. So when I had the opportunity to put my name on something, I took it and we always have gone with it. But, by 2009, when we moved here, I was a little fashion had changed. Everything had started moving to China.
Right.
It wasn't a fun industry. It was all dollars and cents, and it's not so much creative because America has really turned in largely so to a ready-to-wear country,
Right.
And so I wanted to change, and I wanted to something that, I felt that when I was in fashion, I was in a very selfish business, $15,000 luggages and $10,000 eyeglasses that are filled with real diamonds.
Right.
And and matching everybody's Louis Vuitton handbag to their Louis Vuitton sunglasses and make sure they look like
Not helping the people with the disparities.
no, not at all. Not at all. And it was real cute for a minute, but it's not something. And I thought that I could take those sort of talents and do something more for the community. So when we moved here in 2009, we moved to the Museum District, and we bought a house on Kensington Avenue.
Oh, you still live over there.
Yeah, it's like the best, one of the best places I ever lived. And
Yeah.
I really missed my neighbors. I miss a little bit of gardening and the stuff. But when we moved there were neighbors who lived on the street for many, many years, 10, 20, 30, 40, and some 50 years. And they knew each other, but they didn't know each other well. And so I, like every good New Yorker does, is started throwing dinner parties and getting all of them together. And what I realized during that period, and we weren't too well versed because we had no friends here in Richmond on what that would look like. And we wanted to bring the community together, especially with everything going on with George Floyd and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And what I realized that at our table, we had a bunch of people who lived on the same street that didn't know each other. There were Democrats and Republicans. They were black and white. They were gay and straight. But breaking bread and drinking wine brought on the common denominator is that we're all neighbors and we all have to learn and how to love each other and care about each other. Right. And of course, I became the mayor of our block and was in charge with the Caramucci's and a bunch of other folks of our block and how during the block parties where I boiled 3 bushels of crab or fried 40 pounds of chicken. But it became a really big thing. And so someone looked at me one day and a few of the neighbors got together and we created the Underground Kitchen. And the first year, all the profits for the Underground Kitchen went to nonprofits that dealt with food disparities throughout Central Virginia.
Awesome.
But then Richard came home one day and said, you better bring that underground above ground because this is costing us a lot of money.
Yeah,
right? So by year 6, fast forward, we were killing it. We got an invitation from James Beard to go to New York and cook at the James Beard House.
So amazing.
Sold out event. James Beard said that only people that get this much attention in New York is Gordon Ramsay and all the big chefs, but we were sold out. So I knew we were on a path. And during that whole process in 2009, the restaurant scene in Richmond was just getting up and going. It wasn't exciting, just getting exciting. But what I realized is there was a deficit in people of color opening fine dining restaurants, women, people in the LGBTQ community run 60, 70% of this industry. And I made Underground Kitchen a platform for them to speak through food. But while doing that, teaching them financial responsibility, accounting responsibility, while I was teaching myself because I was just learning what I was doing because I knew nothing about the food business. And fast forward to 2019, we were in 42 cities across the country. I can honestly say, or verify that I was one of the first people to get COVID. I was in Boston at the end of 2019 for an event for Philips Technologies for their CEO. And it was for the super spreader. You guys remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we were in a Boston hotel drinking and partying, not knowing what was going on. And my partner at the time, Kate Houck, and I came home with 103 fevers on an airplane, no mask, no anything. And Kate was sick for a couple months, and I was sick for a couple weeks. And then the news started coming out about COVID, and we were like, "Did we have it?" Because there was no testing then, right? And
So scary back then,
it was
too.
scary, and we had so much on the line. We had a TV deal with Netflix, a producer that was
God.
taking it to Netflix. We had all kind of endorsement things, and it was just, everything was happening for us, and everything happens for a reason. So COVID came, and for 2 weeks, everything shut down, and we drank a lot, and I sort of drunked out a lot of friends.
Yeah.
I think I finally drunked out my mother, and I was like, "Hey, we just lost everything." And she says, "I didn't raise a fool." She says, "You're going to be fine. You and Richard are going to just make out fine." She says, "I want you to figure out how to help people." And went to bed that night, and I don't know if you guys have ever had this, but like sort of a spiritual, godly experience. And in Richmond, when my neighbors got sick, I would always make soups and breads, then take it to their house and get wells.
So you're a good neighbor.
Yeah, I like to feed people, right? So I woke up the next morning and I called Kate and I said, "Hey, I know what we're going to do." She says, "What?" And I'm like, "We're going to make soups and breads for everybody in Richmond until the money runs out. We got a refrigerator full of food, a bunch of chefs that couldn't work. We figured out a way that chefs could cook, socially responsible and then keep away from each other."
Right.
And so it was crazy. And then the Episcopal Church jumped in and gave us about 6 or 7 churches to cook in through COVID.
Oh, awesome.
And through those efforts, we made 300,000 meals free to the community, delivered to their houses.
Wow.
And what I saw there was something pretty incredible, that disparities doesn't always mean dollars. That could be spiritual, that could be soul, that might just be to see a smile, to see someone. We were delivering soups and breads in Windsor Farms. We were delivering soups and breads in the East End to someone, the largest population with disparities. And we just thought, we can't stop this. So we became a 501c3. And we started getting a lot of corporate donations and local donations for COVID. And, it just was really eye-opening for me as an individual about how important that work is. And since we couldn't do underground kitchen, it was really, I look back on it now, you guys, and I really think COVID probably saved me. Is that weird?
In a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
Is that weird?
It's ironic.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes like the lowest time though can be like the best time.
Yeah.
In a
Totally
way.
agree with that, Liz.
Yeah, it's like sort of you get shipwrecked from all this chasing money and fame and things, and then you really boil down to it when we all should be helping each other. So COVID came, and by the end of COVID, all the money started drying up. Of course, because COVID is gone, there's no more food disparities, right? Oy vey. So we connected with a neighbor of mine who did some work for the USDA and said, "Listen, in Central Virginia, especially in certain zip codes throughout Central Virginia, there's a need for childcare centers, 10-month-old to 5 years old, and there's nobody supplying them with meals like K through 12. Could you help us?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I never birthed no babies." So I'm like, I don't know nothing about children. I don't know nothing about no children, right?
Gone with the wind.
Right. And Chef Stephen Glenn and my, so I mentioned before, Nancy Coity, my business partner in Beverly Hills, her first job in education was in food and beverage for the Lowe's hotel chain. And so we were business partners in Los Angeles at Beverly Hills. I called her. And now she's my business partner again in Richmond for the nonprofit, and she's the executive director. So I called her and I said, "Hey, we have this chance." She said, "Don't take on too many schools. Let's try with Steve Glenn, our local chef. Let's try 2 or 3 schools and see how it goes." Well, we pulled out our hair because we thought, "Oh, it's going to be fancy. We give the kids a passport, and every day they come into school, we'll take them to India with a little curry.
Good idea.
We're going to take them to Mexico, and we're going to do an enchilada, and we're going to tell them the history."
And they were like, we ain't going for
we
that.
ain't going. We ain't going for that.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, great idea. But Steve was able to hone in the menu, all farm to table, close to organic, hot food delivered every day to the child care centers. Now we have 19 child care centers serving 40,000 meals
Wow.
a month.
Keep giving me chills.
It's great. It's great. It's great.
Amazing.
And so that's, sort of what we've been doing for the last year, and it's about a year and a half. And, it's been challenging. We're always looking for ways to increase, our visibility, to get to more schools, to really preach, farm to table. And, it's really important for us to get the funding. I mean, the USDA dollars are great, but they only cover 30% of our cost.
Right.
If you guys have been to the grocery store lately, you know what things cost.
Oh my
Expensive.
God. I go to Aldi now.
Oh, girl, I'm trying to see. I don't know what I'm going to do, but
No, we're like, we're going to plant some lima beans. I bet.
do something. We got to
Right
grow. But I'm getting off with the numbers. But for breakfast, we get less than $2 a serving, a meal.
Wow.
For dinner, we get less than $4. When's the last time you've eaten on $4?
I don't think ever.
1989.
So we spend most of our time, in the back end trying to raise money to feed folks and to tell the story of good food. And it's just mind-boggling what that all looks like. So the child care centers, we're up to 19 right now. And as I said before, we're serving 40,000 meals a month. And this past Monday, we have, for the last decade, have been priding ourselves of teaching people with disabilities how their way around the kitchen for job and job placement. Mm-hmm. So we've been working with SOAR 365, the nonprofit in town.
I've heard of Positively,
Positive
the Positive
Five,
Vibe
yeah,
Foundation.
with another great organization.
Yeah.
But SOAR 365 and us have been working. We have 3 graduates and 1 person who's working full time in our kitchen now, supporting that from SOAR 365. They have a camp down in Chesterfield called Camp Baker. And Camp Baker is a respite for folks to drop their family off with disabilities for the weekend.
Okay, yeah.
And for years, they've hired caterers who've done not such a great job of supporting them. We've taken over their kitchen, and today, Monday, Memorial Day, we opened up, and we're serving the new kitchen's called From Scratch.
Oh, wow.
And they're getting 3 beautiful meals from scratch a day for 7 days all the way through the summer.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So that's our new thing. And you're talking about pride. It's just amazing. And the campus is gorgeous.
So do you guys have any fundraising events coming up? How can we help?
So,
Tell me.
I hate to do this, but we have the first Underground Kitchen Community First fundraising event coming up in June 19th, on Juneteenth.
Oh, nice.
And we think it rightfully so that it happens on Juneteenth because it's a celebration of freedom. Not just slavery and those sort of things. And we want to look at the freedom to have food access to everybody in Richmond and Central Virginia and hopefully Virginia. So we decided to do it on that date, and it's called the Jubilee. Fortunately, it's all sold out.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's a problem to have, but I think that we will do another one this fall because it was so well because there's local makers. Chef Steve Glenn, our master chef, who's season 20 4th finalist of Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay.
Wow.
I'm obsessed with Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, well, you will love
yes,
Steve.
yes.
He's a beast. He will be the maestro that evening, showing all that we've done and sort of the success that we've had. And what I'm asking sort of you guys and the general public is for your help, whether that's financial, donating your time, coming out, helping some of our vendors like Shalom Farms, volunteering with SOAR 365. Mm-hmm. It takes a village for us to create a community. And this is the time. This is the time we have to make a difference, especially for Richmond and what we've been through in the last 5-10 years.
And we'll definitely post links to everything,
Yeah,
how
thank you.
everyone
Definitely.
can volunteer, donate, etc.
Yeah.
But that's so exciting. And yes, you better have another event in the fall. 'Cause
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I want to go.
It's a whole thing.
Congratulations, you're being sold out.
Yeah. It's not me. It's Underground Kitchen. These kids have worked, and all the hundreds of chefs who have worked for us over the years have created a vibe, created their scene. And we're just the curators of that. They tell us what they want to cook, and we tell them how to release it and what's the best way. And our clients are really open. We have companies around Richmond that book us, and we're booked out right now until the end of September.
That's awesome.
For Underground Kitchen and Community First. We're growing every day. It's sort of juggling, but it's all for the same purpose, and that's to help the community.
I applaud you.
Love it.
And the whole.
I keep getting emotional throughout this whole episode. Like, I don't know, maybe it's today. I don't know.
It's okay. I'll wipe away your tears. Wipe your tears. Well, tell us overall how you feel like the climate has changed, especially for like people of color and the LGBTQ plus community since you moved here. Obviously, there's been some progress.
I think that this is from my side. I'm not from Richmond, so
Sure.
I can't speak for the folks from here, but I'm feeling that there is some excitement in Richmond, that we are not going to be living in a separate city, that we won't have highways separating us anymore. We won't have statues that separate us anymore. That I think that there's a vibe. I don't know if you guys are feeling it, but I am.
I come from a place where it's nothing like here.
I feel like it's improved so much.
Yeah, but I think, VCU has done an amazing job in this city of bringing the city together.
I'm a
I
ram.
think the VMFA, Valerie Castle Oliver and her crew over at the VMFA has done an amazing thing with the art scene and bringing up chefs of artists of color and women and people in the LGBTQ community. I think that there's a vibe going on that I'm going to ride. And so I told you guys before that I lived in the museum district, but we ended up selling our house about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And we lived down in Manchester. And I don't know if you know the history of Manchester at all, but it is hollow ground. It was the land where it's right near the port that brought slaves through. The Mayo Bridge was the bridge they called the Bridge of Tears during slavery.
I did not know this.
And they would take individuals over at night because it wouldn't be to offend anybody. The Harriet Tubman trails, the slave trail runs right through Hull Street. Wow. So the story that we're telling through Manchester and the fact that I live there now and I breathe
that Underground Kitchen is literally right there.
That's
like
right.
your home base.
That's right. That's right. So we're part of the story, and we want to keep creating these stories and promoting people who want to learn, who want to grow in this industry, and beyond. Another really nice thing is that we've had a partnership on a nonprofit level with both VCU Arts and with the University of Richmond, where their kids actually work on real life exercises to help the nonprofit on the back end or through communicating. VCU has done a wonderful job at the art school with packaging and helping us develop snacks for the kids and things that look so.
Right.
This is a community thing. This is, again, takes a village.
I agree. I mean, you see even just within restaurants, the community coming together, like, with the break-in at Jufro.
Right.
Everyone rallying together. I really do feel like it has changed a lot. I mean, I remember when I said I was going to VCU in 1998 and my family was like, "You're going to die." I'm still here.
Right. We moved down. When we moved in 2009, it was like, do you know you're moving to the murder capital of the world?
Yeah.
And I tell you, we had so many friends in New York, and it was like we were divorcing them. Oh my God, you're moving to Petticoat Junction. You know what I mean? And the doorman Ed would dangle his feet from his little chair that he sat on by the front door, and he says, "Hey, Michael, I hear you and Richard are moving to Richmond." I said, "Yeah, Frank." I said, "Yeah, Frank, we're moving to Richmond." He said, "Yeah, there's not a problem with moving to Richmond. Only problem is when you wake up, you're still in Richmond." We love it here. We love it here.
Oh my gosh. My dad and stepdad have got to meet you. Like, they will love you.
Great.
They're your neighbors.
Okay,
so,
awesome.
And maybe they can raise some money.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Just don't give away all my money.
I won't take it all. I'll leave you something.
Leave me some.
Leave you something.
Change. What else? Like, what is your most over-the-top event that you've hosted that you can think of, like from back in the day?
So one thing that we did that was still kind of prevalent now was a project called Enviro Dining, where we did mapping, and I don't know if you know what mapping is, but it's mapping the table with video to sort of turn this table into a pond. The sky would turn blue. It's sort of like the Van Gogh exhibition, but we did it way before them. And viral dining was really, really amazing. And I think that it was, and I have video that I'll send you guys so you see it. But
that'd be awesome.
it was not just the taste, but it was visual, and sort of the table would change for each course to tell a different story.
That's awesome.
And we did that work with the first in viral dining was hosting El Trio, the folks from El Trio. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's really, really
That's
interesting.
cool.
Yeah. So creatively, and I think that one great thing about Richmond is, like, as you build a business or you develop a business as an entrepreneur, it's a very forgiving city. So you can make a lot of mistakes and then work to get it right, and it's very forgiving. New York City would never happen.
Oh gosh.
You're not gonna make it
No,
in this town.
you're over. You know.
The underground kitchen, you've taken it on the road, right? Like
Right.
you've taken it to other states.
That's right.
Have you ever hosted any celebrity guests?
Yeah, tons.
Name a few, we want to know.
Name drop.
So what's the guy's name? Oh my God, I can't even slipped the thing. In South Carolina and Charleston, we had oh my God, I can't even think of his name.
An actor?
Yeah,
Or?
and he's really famous, and I can't remember.
Do you know what movie?
He was in, like, it was about a mega church, and it was on. It was like a Netflix series.
Andrew Garfield?
Nope, close though. Anyway, ton of him, and there's spots, and they come, and it's great. But see, at Underground Kitchen, everybody sits at the table, and it's not a celebrity-driven thing.
Right.
So we don't really ask.
Everyone's the same.
Everybody's the same. So it's, at our tables, it's about community, and everyone's asked not to sit together with whoever you came with, so
Oh,
you
that's
can
nice.
meet new people.
That's really cool.
One of the most exciting things that are happening right now is that we decided to open a little gourmet shop that has little things, little hints of, we have a wine shop in Manchester. So we have a shop that has little hints of mid-century modern, which I love, and things for the kitchen. So
Oh,
you
oh my
guys,
gosh.
it's just,
This is like right across the street.
do you saw when you drive?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a shop, 205 Hall.
Oh, okay.
And
Yep.
mainly right now, all of our customer base knows it, so they come in, you can come in and do a wine tasting. You can hang out, call me, just tell me how
Nice.
many people.
Yes.
They care a little charcuterie, but we hang out, we talk, and they buy tons of stuff.
That's awesome.
What kind of wine do you carry? Like from where?
So that's very interesting, and I'm glad you asked that. We suss out some of the best wines around the world, and we have 2 or 3 really great wine manufacturers right now. One is called Kanusha Wines. It's out of South Africa. The maker's name is Tenoshi, and he's from Nigeria, and he moved to South Africa as a glass polisher in a fine dining restaurant in Johannesburg, right? And he would sniff the glass, and he was able to tell the owners what kind of wine it was. And they realized that this guy has a nose on him and that he knew wine. To know she's now the #1 sommelier in Africa and Europe, and has just come up with his own wine called Kamusha Wines.
That's crazy.
I'd like to try that.
Yeah, come on over. I just was in D.C. At the South African Embassy to do a wine tasting with him.
Wow.
And oh my God, you're talking, and it was like telling me that, like, in Africa, we hear in America this wine has a hint of peaches or apricots. He says, we don't got that in Africa. He says, so he tells me, my Cabernet Sauvignon has the neck of a giraffe and leaves your taste bud with the weight of an elephant. You know what I mean? I love this
That's
guy.
hilarious.
And then there's another vineyard out of Napa called Brown's Family Vineyard, which is a Afro-American family that has a beautiful wine just released that their rosé, I'll get you guys a bottle. Will make you smack your mama. It's so...
Don't mind if I do.
It's really, really good. And so we've been sort of introducing a lot of women-made, Black and people of color made things that people not normally have an opportunity to try.
That's so
awesome.
cool.
I know.
God.
I can't wait to come over.
Yeah, could bring it.
So how does one get on the waiting list to have a dining experience?
So you go on to www.theundergroundkitchen.org. And for our nonprofit, UGK Community First, it's www.ugk UGK, Underground Kitchen, communityfirst.org. There's opportunities there on the nonprofit side for volunteering, for getting involved, donating. Underground Kitchen, get on the list, and I pray for you. I hate to say it like that, but it feels like kind of pompous, but it's just a whole thing. But we're going to start this fall, hopefully getting more events up, as you know, we haven't stopped since COVID, and
Right.
staffing in the industry is so
I mean,
hard.
it's still
It's so hard.
really hard.
It's so hard.
I mean, everywhere is hurting still.
Yeah, but if you looking for opportunities in the food industry, and you're looking opportunities to cook for nonprofits and give back to the community, and if you're not a cook and you can cut carrots or you can pick up from the farmers market that we things, call us.
Awesome.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. We
Matt
gotta
and I
get
were just
involved.
talking about wanting to volunteer. I'd rather do that than, no offense, Habitat for Humanity, but I can cook better than I can build.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I can chop a mean carrot.
Yeah, exactly. It's good stuff. So, you know, it's again a community effort.
Love it.
We want to get involved. That'd be really fun.
I know. Yes. And I want to have a meal too.
Me too.
Bring it. We have
Help
plenty
us.
of them. We have plenty of it.
Well, anything else you want to tell us about either before we move on?
No, move on, darling. Do you?
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, and please feel free to jump in on the rest of the show.
I
But
will.
also before,
Yes.
well, I mean, you told us the website, but do you have social media platforms?
Oh yeah. So, here we go. So the kids do this. The Underground Kitchen is at the UGK, and the nonprofit is at UGK Community First
Okay. On Instagram?
on Instagram.
Okay.
And then Facebook is the thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Go on and, you know.
We'll link it in the show
Yeah,
notes. We'll have
sounds-
links.
yeah,
so-
that's
yeah.
great.
Yes,
That's
and
great.
I'll double check too, like with Sasha.
Yeah.
She can send me that stuff.
She's the one. She's the one.
She's the woman.
And she's the
Everybody listening, please support this amazing cause. This is
Yes.
pretty cool. The community
Thank you.
aspect.
I
love
feel
it.
like I'm like nervous because you're
Yeah.
such a big
know.
deal. You're kind of a big deal.
Stop.
Presence of God.
All right, well, I think it's time for you to
Drop it on us.
All right,
Daddy.
guys. So picture this: it's a beautiful morning in Richmond. You just got out of bed. What's the first thing that you reach for?
It's inappropriate.
I want to go back.
A glass of water.
I'm like a sleeping pill to go back to sleep.
A glass of wine?
Glass of water.
No, not a glass of wine, but maybe a fresh cup of coffee. And
Oh.
what are some of the best places to get coffee? And
Starbucks?
no, well, if you want to support the local economy, you might want to go to Lamplighter.
Ooh.
Lamplighter's
Because
great.
that is a no-frills haven for coffee lovers. Located in the fan, they roast their own beans on site, ensuring fresh and flavorful brews and espresso drinks. The eclectic artsy atmosphere with indoor and seasonal outdoor seating makes it a popular spot to relax and enjoy a quality cup of joe.
Mind if I do?
And there's another place called Afterglow in Scott's Addition
Ooh, I
on
don't know
Summit
that one yet.
Avenue. And this is one I actually want to go to. They offer freshly roasted coffee beans, brewed coffee, espresso drinks, tea, and pastries. They are known for their commitment to ethical sourcing and quality coffee and are worker-owned. So that's kind of a unique feature. And this one is close to home, Riverbend Roastery,
That one's good.
which was formerly Captain Buzzy's. And it's...
R.I.P.
Captain Buzzy, R.I.P.
Yeah, RIP. It's located on Broad Street in Churchill. It's a historic coffee shop known for roasting their own beans like all the others, and they have a community atmosphere. Blanchard's, they have 3 locations which are on Broad Street, Forest Hill, and the Fan, and they offer a variety of coffee, drinks, and brews, and they focus on quality and a cozy atmosphere, which makes them a top spot among locals. And one of my favorites is Black Hands,
Ooh, yeah.
which I like to go to after dropping off Boudreaux to the
When our dog's
groomer.
getting his hair did.
When he gets
Get
his
his mohawk.
hair did, that's one of the local places I like to go.
That's how I
And-
can bribe him to take him to get his hair done.
And yeah, they have some excellent breakfast sandwiches there. They have excellent coffee, roast their own beans. They have chai tea lattes and
Yum.
yep. And Liz, this is one close to home where you work, well, not home, Perk.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Located in the Bon Air Shopping Center, they serve breakfast and lunch with freshly brewed drinks. And this is kind of an interesting one coming up next, and it's one we want to go to called the Smoky Mug.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard of that
I'm
one.
wanting to go there.
And it's on the north side of Richmond in
Don't get over there much.
East Brooklyn Park Boulevard. Yeah. Have you guys been to, well, you've heard of Slay Burger.
Yes.
So it's right across from Slay.
I hear good things about that place.
Oh, my God.
It's so
Burger's
so good.
Is it good?
Yep. And so Smoky Mug is a dual concept offering both a coffee shop and a Texas-style barbecue. And so they have a cafe menu with breakfast sandwiches and bagels and a sizable outdoor patio. So that's on our list to go to.
Yes, yes.
So
Sizable patio.
do you guys have any places you like to frequent or?
I like River Bend, but what about you, Mike?
What's the one on Main Street right near the sports bar, Rostov?
Rostov, yes.
That's one of my favorite places for coffee. It's just so good. And that's one of my favorite places in Richmond for coffee.
So I think
So
that's
many
one of the
good
original
places.
places. It opened up in 1985,
That's
and it
right.
just kind of started they call it the third wave of coffee.
Yeah, well, you really did your research. You pulled that out.
Yeah.
He's like 1985.
Delicious.
This is not a coffee shop, but at Can they have a really good espresso.
Can has a good coffee and a good pastry.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That's a good place to go.
You should if you're a French
So,
restaurant. I mean.
speaking of coffee, who in your opinion makes the best espresso martinis?
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, tobacco company maybe they have a good
La
one.
Grata makes a really good one.
Verdant Lady too.
So have you guys heard of the new restaurant in Manchester?
No.
Texture?
No.
No.
Have not heard of that.
Hey,
No.
kids. Okay, let me tell you
God.
children something. Okay. It is the hot new spot in Richmond. It's called Texture. It's Scandinavian inspired, but it's not only a restaurant and a bar, but it is a furniture store with Scandinavian inspired
Oh,
furniture.
yeah, I have heard of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yes.
is. They're
I didn't know it was open yet.
Yeah, it's open about a week, but you got to get in. It is sexy. It's built in an old train station or grain station or something. But I was in for the first time last week, and we had an absolute amazing time. And I saw folks having espresso martinis.
Ooh.
Get drunk and buy a couch.
I know. Hey,
That could
won't
be
be the first time.
dangerous. Dangerous.
Won't be the first time.
That could be something me and Liz would do.
That's
Yeah,
my
I know,
favorite
right?
kind of shopping is like
I'll
after a
take-
couple of cocktails.
I'll take 4 of those sectionals, right?
So they say if it doesn't have 3 beans on the top, it's no good,
That's what
basically.
she said.
Right.
That's true.
Oh, it's bad luck, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it means something not so good.
That's the mark of the beast.
No, you don't
Well,
want
I
that.
really want a new couch. I hate our couch, so
You're gonna love
sorry,
this
La
place.
Diff. That couch sucks.
So anyway, that is your knowledge drop for the week.
Thanks, Big Daddy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Daddy. Oh my gosh. Well, we have some upcoming events for you guys as usual. First up, next Friday and Saturday, Maymont is kicking off their outdoor music season with their summer kickoff festival.
That's great.
Kick.
That's right. Friday it'll be from 5 to 10 and Saturday from 11:30 to 10. You can get your tickets online now if you just go to the Maymont page. So the first night it'll be Full Moon Fever and then 3 Sheets to the Wind.
We're gonna be there.
We'll be there if
Try to
anyone
find
wants
us.
to come say hello. And then on Saturday, leading off is Fiesta del Sol.
Oh, very
which
cool.
is, yes, a Latin dance performance by the Latin Ballet of Virginia. Then there'll be a progressive soul set by Shira Shi. And then Weekend Plans, which is like a funk, hip hop, and jazz collab. And then I believe they're ending with Biorhythmo and Justin Golden.
Nice.
So you guys go check it out. You can bring a reusable water bottle because it's going to be hot.
Right.
I'm sure.
Good to
And
know.
mosquito repellent.
Yes.
Bring-
yeah.
I actually forgot that last
No, no,
year.
no, no, no,
and
no.
let me tell you, I look like I probably should have
3
malaria.
sheets to the
The
wind.
first time I went to the jazz festival, I didn't bring a mosquito. I
gosh.
thought I was going to turn into Hulk Hogan. I just blew
God,
up. It was
biggest
crazy. It was
mistake.
crazy.
But
Hey, brother.
I know, right?
if you do buy tickets, it is rain or shine. So just remember that.
Right.
It is summer in the VA. So what you got, Olivia?
Shout out to my hair stylist, Jenna, who owns the amazing hair salon, Elvis Salon and Nail Spa on 9525 King's Charter Shopping Center in Ashland. It's not Richmond, but it's pretty close. They are having an open house on Saturday on June 15th from 4 to 6 to celebrate their 17th anniversary. And let me tell you about these prizes, okay? This is why everyone should go. First prize is 1 year of free shampoos and blowouts.
No, I love that.
All year long.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Richard would love that.
I want to get
I lost my
one.
hair a long time ago. It's not good.
Well, getting your hair did ain't cheap. Let me tell
Yeah,
you.
and
Right.
a blowout. And then second prize is just as good. It's 1 year free pedicures.
Oh, I could do that.
Wow.
I could do that. That's
Yes.
great.
So everyone go. I mean, it's summertime. You want your tootsies to look fresh.
That's right.
At first, I was like, your titties?
And your titties too, I guess. Go to youthful beginnings
Both
for
of
that. Oh, wait, they don't do that. Okay, so there will also be additional prizes as well. This is a pretty sweet deal. Definitely check it out. And this salon is Vietnamese owned too, which
Wow,
is
that's very cool.
cool.
Yeah. Awesome. What about your restaurant of the week,
Oh
madame?
my lord, I'm already salivating. My restaurant of the week is River City Wood Fire Pizza. I first found out about them when their pizza truck came to my workplace. Since then, they opened a brick and mortar, I never know how to say that, all the way at 2300 Janito Road in Powhatan, which is Janito.
It is
Sorry,
Janito.
guys. I'm from upstate New York. I can't pronounce anything here. But the pizza truck frequents hot spots in RVA like Hardywood, West Creek, and Midnight Brewery. You can find where the pizza truck will be on their website at rivercitywoodfire.com under events. They also offer catering, and they have won the Couples Choice Award for weddings 6 years in a row since 2019. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, this is what I would get. The Angry Zinski, which is a spicy pepperoni pizza. Coming at you with a kick, the Angry Zinski is their spicy sister to their regular pepperoni pie. Olive oil, sea salt, crushed tomato sauce, red pepper flakes, Parmesan, mozzarella, cup and char pepperoni, and drizzle of their house-made
El Machete.
hot honey. It's hot honey. The El Machete is hot honey.
Sounds so exotic.
I know.
After their wood fire will definitely leave your tongue sizzling and your heart happy. All of their pizzas are amazing though, seriously. Any of them you won't be disappointed with. They also offer gluten-free pizzas, wings,
good.
salads, sodas, and every once in a while they do specials, including some really good homemade desserts.
Yay.
And it always pairs well with the craft beer wherever you're having it.
Hardywood.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, my restaurant of the week is Peter Chang's, 2816 West Broad, or out in Short Pump. Sorry, I live downtown and I didn't think of getting that address. Anyway, they've been around for a while. Yes, I know, but I feel like people kind of sleep on it with where it's located, kind of like hidden right off the boulevard. So we order it at least once a month, if not
So
more
and
often.
it's in the Hofheimer too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So if you go there to eat, then you could go have an after dinner drink or before dinner drink at friend of show, Harry's at the Hoff.
Harry's great.
Love it. So I always get their Kung Pao chicken buns. So good.
Delicious.
But any of their appetizers, I think, are amazing
The
as
string
well.
beans are amazing.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, and they bring on the spice too.
Oh,
They do.
I don't know if
They
I
do.
can
Are
handle
those the
that.
numbing ones?
Yeah,
The
yeah. Well,
numbing
I don't kind of do numbing. When you get old, you're already numb. So I don't need anything spice for
In
that.
more ways than one.
But the nice thing about Peter Chang's is you can order no spice or
Yes.
the levels of spice. So just be careful. But his food is just amazing.
Oh my God.
Gotta go.
I know. I really wasn't ever into spicy garlic sauce before.
I know, right?
And then we happened to one night, we're like, let's do something different. And we got the pork with spicy garlic sauce. Now that is like our jam. Every time I'm like, I need more.
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, it's so good. So
And
good.
even their fried rice, I think, is really good too.
Yeah, it's
like,
great.
Just like the basic stuff
It's
on
the-
there. It's
exactly.
amazing. So everyone get out
Will
and
do.
eat there.
All right, guys, and last but not least is our band of the week, which is What's Our Age Again? I've seen them twice at River City Roll, and every time they play, I have a huge smile on my face. I'm screaming all the words and dancing my ass off. They are amazing. They're a high-energy 5-piece band with Thomas on vocals, James on drums, Severio on guitar. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Severio, I don't know. Cody on bass and Matt on another guitar. They play millennials' favorite 90s and 2000 pop punk. And
What
emo
about Gen X, etc.?
Gen X
I was
too,
alive
right?
during the 90s,
hits. Sorry, Liz.
sadly.
You're a young
No.
Gen X. You're basically a millennial.
No.
They play
You're on the fringe.
emo hits from Blink-182 to Red Jumpsuit Apparatus to Fall Out Boy, Avril Lavigne, Jimmy Eat World, so many more. Everyone is dancing. It's a huge crowd every time. And side note,
Oh my God.
our friend Ashley and I almost got into a fight with a girl. when
I
we
watched
saw
from
them.
the sidelines. I was like,
And
No.
she was a jerk.
No, the girl was very intoxicated.
Yeah.
She didn't know what she was
No,
doing.
I think she did. She was just revved
she
up.
kept running into Ashley
Oh, no.
towards the dance floor.
And we thought it was an accident, but then she literally like Red Rovered me and Ashley, like boom.
But literally, Ashley's words were still hanging in the air. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna
if
kick her ass.
If she hits me again, I'm gonna kick that pee. And then she did it. And
So she literally kicked the girl in the ass with her
No.
foot.
No.
And she turned around and they started
Oh
fighting.
my God. Us boomers don't do that.
But it was quite the scene. But anyway, they'll be playing again on June 29th at River City Roll at 9 p.m. to way past midnight.
And drink responsibly and don't run into
yeah.
people when you're watching.
Yeah, don't be a jerk. And they're also going to be playing Saturday, September 7th at the Broadberry at 8. So save the date.
Sweet. All right. Well, shout outs, guys.
All you coffee drinkers of Richmond, shout out to you guys.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to the Underground Kitchen.
Thank you for having me, guys. I really enjoyed it.
This was so much fun.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Shout out
Olivia,
to
I know you got your shout outs
I've got a lot of shout outs. What's Our Age Again? River City Roll, The Broadberry, River City Woodfire Pizza, Disciples of the Garden, The Canal Club, and Jenna, my hairstylist from Elva Salon and Nail Spa.
Shout out to Ashley Kruger for hooking us up
Yeah,
with
to
you.
Ashley, thank you so
Yes,
much. Thank you so
yes.
much. And shout out to go and visit Texture down in Manchester.
yes.
Yeah, we need to go.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's
I can't
incredible.
wait.
Yeah.
I'm excited now.
And shout out to Harry's and the Hoffenheimer.
Oh, yes, the Hoffenheimer. The Hoffenheimer.
Is it Hoffenheimer, y'all?
I'm going home.
I know. Now you're going to be like, bitch, you kept critiquing me. No, just kidding.
What's new?
Love ya. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next time.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram.
Like us, people.
At olala_RVA and on Instagram and Olala in the Dungeon podcast on Facebook. Give us a like. Tell us what you like.
We want to see those likes.
Yeah, we
Yes.
want to see you guys.
All right, well, goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Michael.
Bye. Bye.